Hey everybody, Kimosabe here, giving you an update now that we got the move that I was speaking about in the previous video. Also put this channel on just to give it all context, how it matches, and it comes right down to it. Um, Anytime you deal with a channel or a range like this, you can trade this just like any other sideways range. While you're expensive at the top of the range, you're inexpensive at the bottom of the range. So these are cheaper areas to get in at if you see a setup that presents itself. But let's take a measurement of the leg I was matching. Actually, I'll leave first. Not from up there. I was measuring this leg, posing that that is some kind of B wave coming down for C. Let me take the trend-based fib extension tool. We'll measure the length of that leg. Obviously in the channel, it's going to measure to the 1-to-1. And there you got it. The 1-to-1 fib extension at 99 looks pretty good. Anywhere between the 99 and the 96 area. And you're getting a bounce where I have marked off at 98,690 at previous supports. So this is what I always say, like when you break out, look at previous support. You're making higher highs. Your higher low is going to come in around your previous supports. Now, if those legs match like that, we have to project some targets if this leg is to repeat. Now, I have it in linear scale, as this it'll give a more conservative measurement, but this has the potential, closing basis, to reach 131,000 if you get an ABC up like that. That is the conservative target. But if we pop it into log scale, the target is 146. So if you see this leg push up all the way till 146, you should have a pause up there. Just as in linear scale, if you see the leg look like that and look just like this leg and pause at the 131, then you know the move is likely going to pull back from there. If we indeed get a movement like that, you would have this, this, this. Just on the basis of symmetry, you'd be arriving there probably almost by the end of the year. Beginning of January, you would arrive there. If it indeed wants to go up, we are seeing a lot of concerning signs in traditional markets today with Jerome Powell speaking. Now, if the markets did indeed have a top that's in for a while, which I'll make a further video on that, you may not have any more rally left in Bitcoin, or something really weird is going to be happening. So we will see. But also something to consider is at the bottom of the market back in 2022, the S&P 500 bottomed in October, whereas Bitcoin bottomed in November. So if you have a peak happening in December for the S&P 500, you may have another month that you can run on Bitcoin. Zooming into the 4-hour here in our little channel, we're having a nice reaction off of previous support. That looks pretty good. We can tag this a few more times and maybe grind up this blue line. I'd like to see that wick hold as support, as the next liquidity is you're done at 96,800, and beyond that you're taking out the lows at 93. So if the traditional markets decide to continue further downside and they bring cryptocurrencies along with it, then those will be your targets that you would look for, is just continued pushing down. 4 hours getting a nice bounce. We have 16 minutes left on this candle. Might end up closing as one of the larger candles here if it can get somewhere up a little higher, but 16 minutes left. I don't hold my breath. Let's zoom into a lower time frame. All right, we have a 2-hour chart here. Zoom into local price action. We do have an engulfing candle. That's promising. Whoa, that channel back. All right, and the daily open is that blue line right there. So what we have is right where the daily candle closed, we had a push down and a reversal. That becomes an order block. That's actually a really good order block. I like that one. So I would mark that off on a 2-hour chart at 100,144. That would be an area I would look to buy with a stop loss at the low. You may push into this wick a little bit, previous support, acting as support again. So you might come down to 99.5 again. That would look good. But I definitely wanted to mark off this 2-hour candle that's closing in 14 minutes as an engulfing candle, especially if it closes above those wicks. The higher the better on those. You want to see some strength coming out of here. Now to back up that 2-hour engulfing candle, you also want to see the 1-hour close above this swing high. You want to see a higher high close. I'd prefer to see it above this swing high at 101, 100. I'd like to see a 1-hour candle close up there, either this candle or the next, and that would support buying the 2-hour order block or previous support at 99.5, potentially 99.99. Those supports may act as support again. You can mark those off. And on the lowest time frame that I like to look at, we have the 15-minute that did close barely higher high. So I want to see how much higher this 15-minute can close. If we can get it up a little higher, that would be great. Maybe it comes and takes all this liquidity first, but if that closes up there, that's how much higher I would look for my higher low. You have supports there and there, so I would look for that 2-hour order block at 100,144. Look for that to be support. Maybe you get some kind of inverse head and shoulders and pop up. Stop loss will be at the low if you get that entry. Watch where liquidity is being built. If they don't take this liquidity before pushing down, that would be a take profit. That would be take profit 1. Raise your stop loss to break even wherever you do get in if you are planning on entering this market. I'd like to see an uptrend start out of here, though. See if this move is completed. It looks decent for a completion. Let's see how it measures. Measure from the top to this low. We got to the 1272 fib extension. That works well for some kind of ABC. You could also count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't really care either way. It has some kind of ending measurement. If it does get down to 96, it may only pop back up and try to push down to that 2.618 at 91,000. But for right now, this is where I would look for a potential buy setup, because that channel says that you're in the inexpensive zone and you have completed a move down, and you may be putting in a higher high to look for the higher low. Look for upper liquidity, take profits up here and all-time highs, and potentially have a very nice run until the end of the year. Like I said earlier, targeting potentially 130,000 to 145,000, depending on how the wave goes up. And we'll try to keep track of that in real time as it comes. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for buy setups around here at previous support. Push up, stop loss at the low. If I get taken out, I'd look for an uptrend to start somewhere down here and then take early profits and probably open up a short. But I wouldn't expect this to come that much lower. This looks like a really good area back at previous supports like I was talking about earlier. This support, these supports acting as support again potentially. So this is somewhere to look long. See how high it bounces. Watch your trend. As soon as you start making a 15-minute to 1-hour uptrend, trade it in the direction until the 4-hour turns a higher high. Then you get a higher low on the 4-hour and continue to push. So hope that was helpful. Hopefully you guys can take advantage of a drop in the market. This is what I was looking for. Hopefully the trade setup plays, and we'll get a nice move up here into the end of the year. So have a good night. Keep your stops tight.